Well, we're excited to get things kicked off, this Friday evening, and I'm sure everyone's excited to get the college football season started. I know some games started this past weekend, but our guys have worked hard, put in a lot of work, and now you got to go put it into action and trust the preparation that you had and go out there and perform because you got to come through on game day and pass the test. So I think like every team, you're excited to get started, and we are, and you'll see what you're made of. Each week will be a weekly test to see what you can do and how you can win the football game. But I know we're excited to get things kicked off down in Atlanta. I think Georgia Tech will be hungry, will be well prepared. Coach Key played at Georgia Tech, so he's going to take a lot of pride in preparing his team. They made improvements while he was the head coach, had a top 25 win along the way, and without question, they're going to be hungry. And normally the most hungry team has a chance to win the football game. So, we'll open up for questions.
Jeff, this time of the year, how difficult is it for everybody, you included, as far as with all the transfers, all the newcomers? You're going against a team with a new head coach to know how to game. I mean, you've got to do so many things. How do you kind of manage that? How do you go about that?
I think you prepare as well as you can. The new players, that's going to be common. The first game every year from here moving forward. I think you watch some of the spring game that's been on TV and see if they did anything that's different from what they did the year before. But I'm sure even with that, we try to prepare against a lot of different things throughout the spring and summer and fall camp. Our defense gives a lot of looks. We try to give our defense as many looks as they can so that you have seen about as much as you can see, and you're able to adjust and adapt once you kind of figure out what a team is trying to do to you early on. So, just through preparation and hard work that you hope to make the transition right away. Obviously, it's important to start off with a bang if you can and try to get a lead in every game, but that's not the way it's always going to happen. But I do think that you'll see new faces. It's just a matter of executing, trusting your preparation, staying focused, and trying to make plays.
Jeff, I think they announced that Haynes King was going to be the QB. He played at A&M, I think, last year. When you scout him, do you go back and watch A&M, or do you try and determine how he would fit into the system they ran last year at Tech, or how do you do that?
Well, a little bit of everything. We recruited Haynes when I was at Purdue and had some initial conversations with him, and then he committed to Texas A&M. We have some connections to him and some people that know him, and I think you just watch what he's done as a player to this point, and whether that's at A&M or whether that's in the spring game or whatever you can get a peek at. I think he's an athletic quarterback. He was a highly recruited quarterback who's going to Georgia Tech to play and prove himself, and he's going to, in the end, be a really good quarterback. So we've got to, find ways to get them off rhythm, make them do things they're uncomfortable with, pressure as much as we can without giving up big plays. But without question, I do think he's a very good quarterback, and from our research, they have a good quarterback room, so we have to be prepared for multiple guys. But definitely Haynes, has the background and the skill to get it done.
Jeff, obviously, you want to start off with kind of a non-conference game to kind of get things going. But with that being a conference game, how much of a sense of urgency does that put on you guys to get out and obviously go 1-0?
Well, it's very important. Every conference game matters, and every game matters really. But you got to be prepared. Going on the road, always you have to be able to overcome things along the way. And this will be the first time for a lot of guys playing together. So you've got to keep your focus. You got to trust your confidence, trust your preparation. You got to be confident when you take the field. You got to go out there and execute. So, like I said, we've tried to put as much pressure on our guys in practice to perform in a lot of different situations. You hope that it carries over to the game in game one. You hope that you're able to adjust and adapt along the way, whether things are going good or bad, and that's what we're going to have to prove. So I think each week is an opportunity and a chance to prove yourself, and if you're not ready for the challenge, you're going to lose the football game, and that's how college football works now. So, we have to be up to the challenge and ready to play as hard as we can for 4 quarters.
Jeff, given the special circumstances with you coming back to your hometown, does this opener feel any different to you than your past 10 or so?
Well, I think so. I mean, without question, my nerves will be gone. You want to do well. You want to try to win the football game. You want to please a lot of people. You want to get off to a good start, and that's always going to be the goal. So, you have to go back and go through things and make sure you're as ready as you can be. But then you've just got to go out there and play and coach and be positive with your players and build their confidence and help them achieve their best. And each week it's different. It's funny. Sometimes you'll go in games feeling really good, and it's not a great outcome. Sometimes you'll go in there really, really worried, and you find a way to win. So I just think you just got to be able to use your experience and get our guys to play hard and stay focused and be tough and be smart and not do silly things that hurt us along the way as far as penalties and turnovers and things that can't happen because you only have so many possessions, and you got to take advantage of it. And it's an important game for us.
Openers are always, a guessing game, but this year with name, image, and likeness even more and more, and so many transfers, so many firsts for you and for your team, is it hard to get your arms around where you are and where everybody else is for that matter?
Well, I think we know our football team now. We've been together for a long time. Yes, there were new faces that we added this summer, but we've had a chance to be with them basically since sometime in the summer throughout fall camp. And you know what? You got to go out and play, and you have to have your starters ready, your backups ready. You got to be able to play as many guys as you can that prove that they're ready to get on the field, and you have to go let them play. And I just think that throughout the season, you're going to lose a few guys here and there. You got to be able to adapt and get the next guy ready, and hopefully he already is ready. But it's just college football, and that's what makes it fun and exciting. Is any given day anybody can win, and the team that wants it the most and is the most hungry usually finds a way to come out in the end.
Jeff, when it comes to Jack, you've mentioned just how smart he is, how much he knows this offense, but there's another side of that. He's got to be more patient sometimes within the offense. Have you seen that from that last scrimmage, kind of moving forward, heading into this opener?
Jack's done a really good job. He's got game experience. He's played a lot of football. He wants to win. I think just, with anybody, you got to get your quarterback to relax. You got to get him in a rhythm early. You got to get him feeling good about seeing things well and boosting his confidence and, get him off to a good start. And if you do that, normally things will carry over and the game will end the way you want. But you know what? Sometimes it may not happen, and you got to be able to adjust along the way. So I just think we've tried to prepare Jack as much as we can. He's got to be smart and understand that if we get in a situation where we need some big plays, he can't do it all himself. He's got to get it to our playmakers, give the big plays a chance, but know where the outlets are and be smart, use his feet, and not turn the ball over. So I just think it's about becoming a solid, experienced quarterback, and he's battle-tested, and we feel confident he'll play a good game.
Jeff,
Well, we've thrown a lot at him, without question. We always want to do that, so we'll continue to push the envelope on that. When it comes to game situations, there are some base things we like to do, and we want to make sure that we're good at that, and we know the signals, we know how to execute, we know the adjustments along the way, and then you always got to throw in some wrinkles. So I just think you have to have enough in your pocket and in the holster that you're able to help your team if they're struggling or get out of a rut if things aren't going well, and show some things that you maybe haven't shown before. But yes, seeing how they do early on and what they can handle, that's how we adjust. But I think that we've thrown a lot at them, and they've done a good job, and we want to be aggressive in our approach on both sides of the ball. And I think you have to have that fine line of, yes, everyone needs to know what they're doing and how to do it, but you've got to be aggressive and allow your guys to play and give them an opportunity to win a football game in multiple ways. So we'll definitely be smart, but also push the envelope on that.
Jeff, going into game week, do you like the health of where your team is overall, and any other additional injury news there?
I think so. I mean, like everybody, we have a few guys that won't be participating in the game, and we've tried to manage that as well as we can. And we'll be able to adjust. We'll have some more happen throughout the season, but I feel good that we've built depth at quite a few positions. Hopefully at those positions you'll see multiple guys in the game throughout the entire game, and if we can do that successfully, it'll make us a better football team. And but I feel good that other than a few guys here and there, we're as strong as we can be.
Jeff, some of the freshmen who have been here a little bit, maybe even since the spring, what's the percentage chance we see them on the field in game one? And does it just kind of go case by case with those guys?
Well, it'll be a situation where we feel like we got some good young talent. I think freshmen the first game, there's always a slight concern that you want to ease them in. You want to make sure that they play well and that they feel good about their game when it's over. But we have guys that can play football, so I think whether it's playing some on offense or defense and special teams, you'll see multiple guys in there. I think Stanquan Clark is a guy that has shown that he can play football. He'll be in there at certain spots. I think Adonijah Green will be in there on certain spots, and he's shown that he can play football as well. And Jamari Johnson has a chance to get in there. But at the same time, we want to be smart and go with experience and make sure that we're getting those guys in at the right situation.
Yeah, Jeff, back when you played for Coach Snellenberger, were there 2 or 3 things that he would focus in with you guys as the season started that were the most important? And are any of those things items that you stress today?
Well, we could talk a long time about that. I think Coach was great at preparing his teams to take on anybody. We practiced hard. We practiced long. We got after it in practice so that when we got to the game, it would come easy to us. So, we do that as much as we can, but you can't go overboard with that nowadays. You used to practice 3 times a day, and that was fine. But the bodies can't hold up as much as that they used to, I think. And nowadays guys prepare year round, so we try to be smart and get guys to the game healthy as much as we can. I think when it comes to us, we throw a lot at our guys. We want to be prepared. We want to have bullets ready to go. But in the end, we narrow it down to just 3 things as we take the field, and that's 3 things that we think are visible to the common fan, and we have to win in these 3 things no matter what else happens to have a chance, and that is playing harder than the other team. And to me, you can tell if a team is playing hard by watching it on TV or in person, and we got to play tougher than the other team, which means, guess what, it's not always going to go the way you want. So whether you're up by 10 or down by 21, you're still going to play hard, and that's the ability to be tough throughout the entire game and never give in and never quit, and that's visible to the common eye. And then you've got to be smarter than the other team, meaning we can't have the 15-yard penalties. We can't have the things that set us back. We can't have offsides and misalignments and false starts and things that really set you back and put you in a jam. So we have to be the smarter team. And I think if you win those 3 things, which that is visible to the common fan as well, if you win those 3 things, you're going to have a chance to win the football game. And that's what we really want to make sure as we get closer to game time, that we find a way to get that done. It's not easy because the other team's going to try to do the same thing, but you have to find a way to win in those 3 things.
Jeff, I know your last couple of seasons at least, you got more involved with the defense than you had been maybe earlier in your career. How involved were you with this defense, your Louisville defense?
Well, I'm involved. I think I've learned lessons along the way, and we want our team to have the personality that we want to take on, which is aggressive in our approach. We want to be in attack mode. We want to not be on our heels, and that needs to be in all 3 segments, offense, defense, and special teams. I feel confident in our defensive coaches and the plan they put together. We want to really just put our players in the best position to have success, and we want them to make plays and not be scared to make a mistake, and go for the sack, go for the tackle for loss, go for the interception, and really be aggressive in that approach. So I just think it's important that whatever knowledge I have, I try to spread it to our coaches. Whatever knowledge our coaches have, we spread it to each other, and we utilize that. And I just think we've had some good moments throughout the last few years that you try to use that experience, and we've had some other moments that we've had our teeth knocked in that you try not to allow that to repeat. So that's what we have to piece together and go out there and try to win each and every week. Well, we were fortunate to add Mark to our coaching staff this past spring. Mark was a tremendous player here and has coached football at a lot of different levels. Really, his passion for the game, his love for this university is really what makes him so successful, what he's doing now. Right now, he's working in our recruiting department. He's working with our defense. He's doing a lot of things for us. He's assisting with the linebackers. He's kind of just giving his personal view on things, not only to coaches but to our players, and letting them know how he did things and what he can see here and what he saw in practice and how can that help our players. So I just think it's important to have really good people that are good guys that are here just to help people have success. Mark's one of those guys. He doesn't ask for anything. He just goes to work every day and tries to help these guys prepare as much as he can. And I think to this point he's done an outstanding job.
Jeff, when people talk about your offense, they always start with passing and the receivers. You've got three really good running backs and a veteran offensive line with some pieces that you added. Do you feel really good about that and how that line has come together with those backs combined?
I do. I think our running back room has done a really good job. I think we've improved the offensive line. I think that in the end it's about scoring points and winning football games, and how can we do that? And I do think that for your best playmakers to touch the ball as much as they can needs to be the goal. So whether that's by air or by ground, by misdirection, by play action, whatever needs to happen, those guys need to touch the ball. And I think without question, certain guys have emerged, definitely at the running back position, and they need to touch the ball. So we've got to utilize their skill and their talent, and that's going to be up to me and our offensive staff to make sure that we're keeping track and we're making sure that that happens. Sometimes you can call plays and they can be a primary option, but it may not get to them. There are other times that you can make sure that the ball is in their hands, and we just have to make sure that we're conscious and observant, and those guys have the ball in their hands multiple times throughout the game.
Obviously, there's no film on Georgia Tech with the roster as it's currently constructed, but when you look at what they were able to do last year when Brent Key did take over as the interim, what do you think maybe stood out in terms of their identity, philosophy, and what they're overall trying to accomplish?
Well, I think last year they were number 6 in the nation in turnover margin, which means that they're going to give you a lot of different looks. They're going to try to get the ball out. They're going to go for the big play, and we have to make sure that we don't allow that to happen. Nowadays with the couple of the clock rule changes, there's less possessions. So if you're giving up the ball, you're going to be in trouble. I think they want to have a sound running game and get the ball to their playmakers and keep the game close and get it in the fourth quarter and then find a way to win. So I just think, Coach Key's a former offensive lineman. He's going to work his guys hard. He's going to be tough in the trenches, and we have to find a way to gain an edge in that. And I think, anytime you go on the road, you have to be prepared for anything that can come up. And they're going to play aggressive. They're going to play to win, and they're going to play confident. So we've got to match that and figure it out and try to pull out the win in the end.